Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Let's go live to the stadium in Bismarck, North Dakota. It's time for Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Well, thank you, Nick Hallberg, and good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. As we've had the last couple of weeks off due to football, I want to give a thanks to Todd Domrey's filling in as I was on assignment down in Nashville, Tennessee for the UND hockey game. So big thanks for TD for filling in for me on Overtime, and then. Well, the last couple of weeks led us to the state football playoffs out of New Salem a couple of weeks. And then last Friday, we were all day in the Fargo Dome where we crowned 4 state champions last Friday in football in the state of North Dakota. And today we're going to get a chance to talk with 3 of those 4 coaches. As we'll start the show out this morning, we'll talk with the head coach of the 9B football champion, Andy Delabar from LLM. His team knocked off Cavalier. Then we'll switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk a little Bismarck State College women's basketball. We'll talk with their head coach, Ty Hagan. They're out in Miles City today, but Ty was so kind enough to join us this morning. And then this will be an interesting one, as I spoke to Bill Nelson this week, the head coach of the Jamestown Blue Jays. Talked to him about coming on the show this morning. Well, Bill said he's going to be out in Wisconsin for a Badger football game. But we're going to be able to hopefully connect with Bill, and I'm guessing it's going to be live from a tailgate party. So it should be, Bill, always an interesting interview when you get a chance to talk to him. But the Jamestown Blue Jays handled the St. Mary Saints in the 11A side of things. Then we'll talk with Jeremy Newton, the head coach of the West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs, as they finally broke the door down and they knocked off the West Fargo Packers, and they are your 11 2A state champions. And then we'll stay on the football front, as most of you may have, if you have not on social media, saw the interviews that we did last Friday. And boy, I tell you what, we had some dandies, and one of those interviews was done by Chuck Claremont, one of my partners, and he had a chance to talk with Jordan Sunram, as Jordan, the field goal kicker for the Kindred Vikings, a young lady that got into the record books in the Dakota Bowl, the first gal to score points in the Dakota Bowl. And we're going to continue that conversation a little bit today with Jordan. But what a great interview Chuck had with her. You could certainly, Todd Domrey's, as we were sitting up high in the Fargo Dome, made the comment is you can surely hear the smile on her face. What a great line there. So we'll talk with Jordan a little bit and just see how the last week has played out. I know she got to celebrate that with some friends and obviously her family, her dad, and assistant coach, so kind enough to line up that interview for us today. So we're looking forward to talking with Jordan Sunram. Then we'll talk with Dave Zittelman. Dave, the Bismarck Event Center has been the home, for those of you that may or may not know, has been the home for the state Class A and B volleyball tournament. And we'll talk with Dave Zittelman, see how that has had a chance to get down there earlier. Great atmosphere, and certainly, boy, I'll tell you, if you're Dave Zittelman, you couldn't ask for a better matchup tonight, particularly on that Class A side of things, as you've got number 1 out of the West Century taking on number 2 out of the West, Bismarck High, for the 5th time this year. That one's going to be a lot of fun. That one's coming up later today, right around 5 o'clock. And then we'll round out the show as the hockey season getting underway, and who better to go to? We'll get a chance to talk to some of those coaches hopefully next week. But I know our colleague and owner of the PSP Network, Nick Hallberg, had his hockey show this week, and we'll get a chance to talk with Nick as the preseason coaches poll, I think, has come out, and the Williston Coyotes leading the way. But we'll find out more about that when we get a chance to talk with our hockey expert, let's just call him, Nick Hallberg, and we'll round out our show with that. As I said, the state volleyball tournament underway or will complete today on both the Class A and the Class B side, as Century and Bismarck High will play for the title. Let's tell you how they both got there. Bismarck High opened up the tournament. They swept West Fargo 3-0. And then yesterday, West Fargo Cheyenne, and then they had a date with the Packers yesterday, who was the number one team out of the East. And the Demons swept the West Fargo 3-0, and that puts them into the state title game this afternoon at 5 o'clock at the Bismarck Event Center. On the bottom half of the bracket, well, the Century Patriots continue to roll. This will be their sixth title. They're looking for their sixth title in 7 years, and it's their 11th consecutive state title match. Those are numbers that are just unbelievable. As we'll get that is just an amazing feat for the Century Patriots. They knocked off Davies 3-0 yesterday, rolled over Shanley 3-0, and then that puts them into that title game this afternoon. On the consolation side of things, well, West Fargo Cheyenne, they're going to play for the consolation championship as they knocked off St. Mary's 3-0. And then it was Legacy. I watched a little bit of that one last night. That one went 5, I believe. Yeah, it did 5. And West Legacy defeated Davies 3-2 in that one. So Legacy will get a shot at 5th place in the state championship. And then on the 7th place side, St. Mary's and Fargo Davies will do battle for 7th there, as that 5th place match will get underway roughly around 11 o'clock this morning. The Class B side, well, that shouldn't be about the same excitement in that one as well, as Linton HMB, the number 2 seed in the tournament, will take on the number 1 seed, Northern Cass, as Linton HMB looks to repeat, as they knocked off the Lax Burlington 3-0 on Thursday, and then they handled Thompson yesterday, who in what you could call maybe a mild upset, knocked off Langdon area Edmore Munich in their opening match 3-0. And then on the bottom half, Northern Cass, a team that has been rolling, they knocked off Garrison 3-0. And then Kenmare took Trinity down to the wire, and in the opening match. And then Northern Cass knocked off Kenmare last night 3-2, certainly in another great match there. So that sets up Linton HMB and Northern Cass. And Northern Cass appearing in their second state championship game appearance after winning the title back in 2013. So they turn around and they try to do it 8 years later. But Linton HMB, and again, these two teams, not strangers to each other, as the Northern Cass, their winning streak has been stretched to 15 matches. They're 32-0-1. Since a 2-1 loss to number 2 seeded Linton HMB, who is their opponent, and they also knocked them off 3-2. That first one, 3-2 win over the Lions in their rematch later in the season. So the excitement should be running high down at the Bismarck Event Center. On the consolation side, well, Langdon area Edmore Munich handled DLB 3-0. And Dickinson Trinity knocked off Garrison 3-0. So the 7th place match, that will take place in the exhibit hall at 11 o'clock. DLB will take on Garrison. And then Langdon area Edmore Munich will take on Dickinson Trinity. That'll be at 3 o'clock in the event center. And then at 1 o'clock, the 3rd place match will feature Thompson taking on Kenmare for 3rd place. So if you're looking for some exciting volleyball this afternoon, as that championship match on the Class B side, that will be at 7 o'clock tonight. That will round out the 2021 State Class B volleyball tournament, and then that will put a wrap on all of our fall sports, as this will be the last champion to be crowned, and these young ladies will have to turn around next week and get right back into the gym, as the basketball practice for the Class B girls has started. The boys, that looms on the A and the B side in the next week or two. And certainly stay tuned to PSP Network on all social media platforms, as we'll have our upcoming PSP basketball broadcast schedule. And, hey, folks, if you're looking for a place today to watch some football, and there's going to be some good football on today. Make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon as full-service menu specials going on, as Danny and the staff will certainly take care of you up here at the Stadium Lodge. So I know that NDSU in South Dakota, big game. That's in Fargo. That'll be a 2:30 kick, and another big game, particularly for the University of North Dakota, as they are down. They are taking on South Dakota State, and that will be a 2 o'clock kick in that one. So both those games, you'll be able to watch both those games here at the Stadium Lodge. There's a number of TVs on both sides, as we'll have all kinds of football on for you. And then a big college bowl matchup today as Michigan State taking on Ohio State. A lot of things to be determined in that one, as the playoff rankings have been released earlier this week, but a lot of things to be determined on who comes out the winner in that one, as who those Final Four will be. As we're on the football front, I want to give a shout-out and a best of luck to the Blue Hawks from Dickinson State as they travel down to Grandview. I do believe that is in Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. And they've got an early kick there. That will be an 11 o'clock kick, Dickinson State and Grandview in the NAIA playoffs. And then a big matchup out in Montana. It's the Brawl of the Wild, they call it. It's Montana versus Montana State today out in Montana. So lots of good football for you coming up today. And certainly make the Stadium Lodge your home as you looking for a spot to watch some of that high school or that college football. Also, I think we can probably slip on a little bit of volleyball on one of these TVs as well today, as, again, those title matches are being broadcast. So certainly make the Stadium Lodge your home. And again, want to go back. Hopefully you enjoyed our coverage last week of the Dakota Bowl. That was our first crack at it on the PSP network. I know we certainly enjoyed bringing you the coverage, and just a great job to my colleagues, Todd Domrys, Chuck Claremont, Nick Hallberg. Long day at the Fargo Dome, but nonetheless, I think everything went off like it should have, and certainly some of those interviews that were done, boy, I tell you what, I know a lot of those got some social media hits and some shares and some retweets, but boy, I tell you what, certainly a lot of fun down in the Dakota Bowl. As I said, our basketball broadcast schedule, well, that'll be coming up right around the corner, as we hope to bring you a number of Class A boys and girls basketball and some Class B boys basketball. Certainly we're sitting in that Region 5 going to a super region. One thing I can tell you that's on the docket, hopefully, is the Mandan Holiday Tournament. Get back over there. Scott Sheldon and the folks from BNC Bank do a great job hosting that tournament, so we'll hopefully get back over there and be able to bring you. But we're looking for a long run of basketball, and again, that's going to end in March, and it's going to be a long March, as we're going to have Region 5. We'll have Region 6 for you, the tournaments. So we're going to have the Class A girls. We're going to have the Super A, which is going to be right back at the Bismarck Event Center. And then we'll have the State Class B boys basketball tournament, which will be up in Minot. So lots of basketball coming up. Also today, the inaugural season of high school girls wrestling opens up today. And I know, I'm sure a lot of folks are excited about that, looking forward to that as that season gets underway. It's a long time in the making, and so certainly I'm sure a lot of folks will be out there following that. So best of luck to those young ladies attacking the mat, and hopefully we'll get a chance as we move on in the upcoming weeks to talk with a few of those coaches about this new about this sport of not a new sport, but newly inducted into North Dakota on the high school wrestling side. Is hockey. That's right around the corner. That opens up Monday, and as we said, the Williston Coyotes up there, Century up in the coaches poll as well. Legacy, they're going to open their inaugural season with the hockey program over there. And again, we'll get a chance to talk with some of those coaches hopefully next week as they get 1 week under their belt of the hockey season. So the fall sports are going to be put to rest later this afternoon. The winter sports, well, they're already underway, and it's going to be another long run into the month of March. And then we look forward to the end of May where the state track meet comes into play. So lots of things coming up for you here on the PSP Network. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk with the head coach of the Lobos, Andy Delabar. Back with more after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
It was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom.
I think your quash leader valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BMC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options, and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with LASIK from Bismarck LASIK. Imagine no more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck LASIK, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck LASIK. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network. It's overtime as if you're looking for a place, to watch some football this afternoon, Bison fan, UND fan, Michigan State, Ohio State, whatever fan you are, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon as you can be rest assured that those football games will be broadcast on the one number of TVs located inside the Stadium Lodge. And joining me right now on the line is the head coach of the Lemoore Litchfield Marion Lobos football team, and they are your state Class B 9-man champions, Andy Delabar. Andy, good morning, my friend. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good to be on.
Well, I suppose it feels. What did it feel like to go through a week with out having to look and break down game film?
It was kind of nice. It was a little bit more relaxing, and as a coach from that perspective, it was a good way to go into the off season. I can tell you that much.
Well, yeah, it certainly was, and what a season that you guys had. I'm sure one that you'll surely not forget anytime soon. As you went wire to wire, and that's tough to do. I mean, but nonetheless, very well deserving, of that state championship.
Yeah, thank you. It was, you look back and you look at an undefeated season and being 12-0 and playing a lot of good football teams, especially there late in the year throughout the playoffs. So it was quite an accomplishment, and just really proud of our kids for taking on that challenge each and every week.
Andy, let's go back to the start of the football season when you guys, when you handed the pads out, the helmets, and everything like that. And I guess let's go back to last year. I mean, how much did that tough loss really kind of give these guys that little extra edge, maybe, to say, all right, fellas, this is our time now? I mean, did that still kind of stick in the craw a little bit last year, that tough semifinal loss?
Yeah, it did. And I think you're right by going back to last year instead of the beginning of this year, because, I think, we lost to a very good football team last year in the semifinals that Linton ended up going on and winning the state championship. And, I think our sights were set on winning one last year. And when that ended, it was tough. It was a hard one to swallow, but I think from that instant, it really set our sights on what was coming up here in 2021. And so I think, that sat in the back of our minds, last year, and just what it took to get to where we were, and what it took here now to overcome that semifinal loss and to get to the state title game and to be a state championship football team. Yeah,
no question. And certainly, you talk about the regular season, Andy, and boy, I tell you what, you guys really kind of went through that unscathed. I mean, how are you, when you're beating people like you were beating them in the regular season, is it harder for you as a coaching staff to keep these kids at their top-notch level, if that makes any sense to you?
Yeah, no, I think right away that was kind of some of the concerns we had as coaches was, we went our first 3 weeks and, our kids were playing only 2 quarters a game, really. And, you start thinking about, gosh, we're going to get into late in the season and what's a 4-quarter football game going to look like? And, I got to give a lot of credit to our kids because of their maturity. I think it's easy for a team to go through, a part of their season and have the success we did, and just to kind of feel like, hey, we've arrived and we can just kind of ride the wave here now. But that wasn't the case for our boys. I think they really bought into that. Hey, we have to improve each week. We have to be a better football team than we were last week. And I talked to the boys, and that's what sets apart a really good football team from a state championship football team, and so they really proved that here throughout the season.
Well, yeah, and then you get into the playoffs. You get the first round bye, the number 1 seed in Mayport CG. You roll them 42-0, and Lemoore Litch, and then you knock off Grand County Flasher 42-22, and then, you know, I don't know, maybe kind of I guess maybe, Andy, in your mind, I don't know, in my mind, I mean, was it kind of a nail biter against Bottineau? I mean, 20-6, and you guys were down in that game a little bit, but certainly a game maybe that you probably needed to have as you went into, and you ended up winning that game as you were going into that state championship game.
Yeah, no, it's starting with that Grant County game. I mean, that was a really good football team, and throughout the playoffs, that was probably one of the better teams that we matched up against, and just some really good athletes that we had to adjust our game plan. But then that following week in the semifinals against Bottineau, we had to adjust, and that was kind of, again, what sets apart, I think, those good football teams from championship football teams was just the ability to change the style of play, and against Bottineau, we kind of had to do what we had to do to win that game. And, they were a good football team. Defensively, they did a good job of stopping some of the things that we've been really successful at throughout the season. But again, our kids were able to adjust and to do what was necessary for us to continue to compete and win. So really good experience. And I think that too helped us getting into that championship game and knowing that we're going to have to adjust again. And so again, just a lot of learning that we got through the playoffs that helped us win it all.
Yeah, we're talking with Andy Delabar, the head coach of the state 9B champions, the Lobos from Lemoore Litchfield Marion. And Andy, you roll into that state championship game, and, it doesn't get any easier. Here you got a team in Cavalier who's coming back there for the third time, and they're just coming off a battle-tested win against New Salem. Probably, obviously you're going to get either one of those two really good football games and a really good Class B 9-man game. And you come in and two teams that are putting up a lot of points, and boy, this thing looks setting up after quarter number 1 to be a defensive struggle.
Yeah, it was kind of like I think I heard on one of the broadcasts, kind of like two heavyweight fighters filling each other out that first round, and it kind of was. I think we had a pretty successful first drive, and I think Colton Ness is an all-state tight end that. I think 9 times out of 10 he's going to reel in that pass in the end zone. But I got to give credit to Clem, the safety there to knock that ball out and make a play. Because I think if we score in that first drive, that momentum would have shifted a lot earlier than it did. But credit to our defense. I think early on, Cavalier had some really good success, and again going back to just being able to adjust and stay disciplined on defense, and get a stop there at the end of the first quarter. And then, of course, Brady Lettenmeyer had one heck of a run to really start that momentum building for us.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that. And you talk about a guy that, boy, I tell you what a postseason run he had, no pun intended. He kicks it off with a 76-yarder to start quarter number 2. But, I mean, just talk about it. I mean, the guys, and just as you talked about Ness, you Brady Lettenmeyer, Corbin Potts, and just all the guys on both sides of the football, just a talented team. But Brady Lettenmeyer, boy, I'll tell you what a postseason he had.
Yeah, he's probably the hardest working kid we have. I mean, from practice to games to the off season, and he runs like that too. So I mean, he's got that toughness to him, and that really makes him a special running back and a football player. So, but you're right. I think it's really, I think the makeup of our team and just again that mentality of, we're all one. We're one team, and we have multiple guys that can make plays. But you look back to that the semifinal game against Bottineau, and Charlie Bowman has a heck of a game there, and scoring a couple touchdowns, but then ends up having, I think, one catch in the championship game. But he's just as excited for Anthony Hansen, who comes up with 2 big catches. And I think that's just kind of what really made us a special team this year was just the unity that we had throughout the season.
Yeah, and we just got about a minute or so left with you, Coach. And I mean, what does it mean to bring something like this for you and these young men, to bring something, a championship like this, back to those communities?
Well, it means a lot in many different facets that it's hard to explain. But our community in Lemoore Marion, it's been 30 years since we won a state title, and just to win a state championship in any sport, it really means a lot. And I think that's something that's been created by culture, over the years, and we've had really good football teams in the past, but just not able to get over that hump and run into some other good football teams. But it's a tradition that keeps going on, and I think that it builds upon that culture, and the culture within the other sports that our kids are involved with. I really truly believe that our success, breeds success in our other sports. So whether it's basketball or baseball or wrestling, I can't say enough about our kids and the kids and the families in our community.
Well, Andy, I know it was our first shot at watching you guys last year, and very impressive football team. It was a fun game to call and a fun game to be a part of, and very well deserved. Congratulations on the state championship. I'm sure you've enjoyed it enough already, and now you got to turn the page. And are you starting to get ready for next year already, or what? Taking some time off?
Well, we always had the 24-hour rule, but this one might last a little longer, and it certainly has started to sink in, and too, we've had our end of the year meetings, and getting down, one-on-one with the kids, and the talk is already on 2022. So we bring a good group back, and certainly, we're gonna keep working through the off season, and before you know it, it's going to be here again soon.
Yeah, well, Andy, hey, appreciate the time on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and congratulations on that state championship.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Hey, you got it. Andy Delabar, the head coach of the Lobos from Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion, as they are your state class 9B champions with a 42-14 win over Cavalier last Friday in the Fargo Dome. We'll take another timeout. As we move into our next guest, we'll go to the hardwood. We'll talk with the head coach of the Bismarck State College Mystics women's basketball team, Ty Hagan. Back with more after this timeout on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zzz?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission.
Hey, Ty, Scott Woodmansee, how are you? Not too bad, not too bad. You made it out to Miles City safe and sound?
PSP Network on Twitter, @Network PSP, and on
Oh, really?
Facebook,
Oh, wow, okay.
PSP Network.
Okay, well, I'm going to hook you up here. You may hear the commercials. If not, but when we come back, you'll be able to hear me, all right? Okay, hang on.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network. It's Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Hey, if you're looking for a place today, have some lunch, watch some football, or whatever fits your schedule today, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. As full-service menu, number of TVs, lots of football on today, as make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. As we turn our attention now, we'll go to the hardwood, and the basketball season is underway for some of the local area colleges, and one of those teams that's en route out to Glendive, Montana is the Bismarck State College Lady Mystics, and on the phone right now is their head coach, Ty Hagan. Ty, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Doing well.
Doing
Just
well. And yeah, as we got to say, not only this is interviews live from the bus. I'm guessing the front of the bus, right, Ty?
Yes, front of the bus looking out. Otherwise, I get a little motion sickness, so I always got to ride in the front.
Well, Ty, hey, let's look. I know it's early in your season. November 5th, you got things underway up in Newtown at the Classic. They always hold up there at the Four Bears Event Center, and I guess it's fair to say that you got to feel pretty pleased where you're at right now, off to a 3-1 start with these ladies.
Yeah, we're off to a good start. The first part of the season, we do start with that conference tournament. All the games that we play within right now in the conference do count towards our conference, and so I'm pretty pleased that we are right now. Got to bring it every day, though. We got to get better every day. Got to get some road wins. That's what we're looking for today.
Well, yeah, and certainly, in that conference, and you talk to any coach, or you talk to Rick Newman at Mary, or you talk to anybody, how just the importance of when you go on the road is to in particular, you guys are on a 2-game road trip. I mean, if you split, you got to feel pleased. If you get 2, you're ecstatic. But to come back with at least 1 is important, particularly in conference play.
Yeah, I mean, we were on the road to Botno on Thursday. I mean, we played a pretty solid first half. Second half was, we just kind of didn't play a game, but we came out there with a win. It's hard. Like I said, it's hard to go on the road, and any way you win on the road, you'll take it. And hopefully we're going out to Glendive today. We put four quarters together, and we play our basketball, and we come out with a win.
Yeah, as you talk about, too, this team, Ty, that you've assembled up at Bismarck State College, and you look down the list, and the only thing you see on the back end on their hometown is ND, 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 all the way down. And I think you're proving that, boy, and a lot of these names look familiar to myself, having followed them locally on the high school front. But boy, I tell you what, it's a pretty good assembly of names on this team, in Gustafson and Kinnebrew and obviously Hovey from Trenton. I mean, got some. But boy, I mean, you got to feel pretty pleased with what this team looks like, do you not?
Oh, I'm very proud of them. And like you said, yes, they all are from North Dakota. And I think, I take pride in that a little bit, to give our North Dakota kids a big chance at doing something great. And the team that's been assembled this year, we want to play fast. We want to play, defensively. We got to get up underneath them to get into our transition game. The athletes that, we had last year, we have 3 starters back. And so the freshmen that were brought in are a great compliment to the leadership that we had back from last year, too.
Well, yeah, and you look at the leadership that you had, and, one of the gals that certainly, made a name for herself in the high school front is Riley Payne, and coming back as a sophomore, and Sam Osh, from Beach, and then you bring in like Sydney Gustafson. We talk about Kinnebrew, and when you talk about leaders of this team, I mean, I got to believe that Riley has got to fall into one of those, classified as one of those leaders of this basketball team.
Yeah, she's a huge asset to our team. She is a dual sport athlete. She was MVP in volleyball this year. We're looking, like I said, for her leadership on the court this year, off the court. She just understands the game so well. And with that being said, just understanding the floor, understanding the game, understanding your teammates is a big contribution to our team.
Well, and two, Ty, you got to look at when you've got somebody like that. I mean, in general, that's hard to do. I mean, is she been able to adapt to this? It seems like she has been able to adapt to being this multi-sport athlete, coming out of volleyball, going right into basketball. That doesn't give you a whole lot of free time.
No, but her being the athlete that she is, her mental part of toughness, part of things is amazing. Last year in the COVID year, she played 2 sports at the same time.
Yeah.
Everything was in the spring, so she played 2 sports at every time. So her mental toughness is astounding. And, this year coming out of volleyball into basketball, I think last year having to play them both at the same time really built that toughness and really helped her out this year.
Yeah, we're talking with Ty Hagan, the head coach of the Lady Mystics, as they're on their way out to Glendive, Montana for a couple games this weekend. And Ty, when you look at these freshmen that you brought in this year and the girls that you return, I guess, talk about what you saw from some of these freshmen and in your mind, how, do you think a lot of these gals are going to contribute in big-time ways for you this season on the basketball floor?
Well, first of all, you got to give credit to their high school coaches for making them who they are.
Sure.
For coaching them and giving them the tools to move on and to come in as freshmen and have a big part of teams. So big thanks to the coaches. I think there's a lot of talented coaches just around the area. They do well with their programs. They teach them a lot of grit, so kudos to them for, and pushing them our way a little bit. And I look for them to be a big part of our team. Their intensity on the court.
Yep.
They understand that transition. They understand, what it looks like to have to play hard for, I guess in high school it's 2 halves, but for us it's 4 quarters, and they know what it takes, to be successful. So.
Yeah, and Ty, you've been doing this a few years, and obviously you in your own right, a very successful basketball player up in Williston, and sometimes you sit and you look and you watch these gals compete at the high school level, and you go, I mean, does sometimes that talent get overlooked in North Dakota?
100%. When you're talking BSC and you're talking, some players, let's just give an example. Like, let's just say Century, right?
Yep.
And all 5 can play, all 8 can play, and so I feel like, I don't feel like they get overlooked. I just think that some of the teams really have a lot of depth in North Dakota. I mean, and it's not just them, it's across the board.
Sure.
And so, I think some of those players get a little overlooked just as far as because the whole team is, full of athletes. But I'm just glad that, sometimes we kind of get some of those kids. So.
and Ty, I guess I'll ask you that question. When you look at it, is you look at Bismarck State College being the 2-year school, and then you've got Mary in the backyard, and then you've got Jamestown College down the road to the east, and then you've got Dickinson State down the road to the west, and then you got Valley City a little further than Jamestown. How hard is it for you to recruit, to get young ladies to come play for you up at Bismarck State College?
Well, I wouldn't say it's hard. Yeah, there's a lot of, obviously competitive schools around, I think if you do your job as a recruiter and, you're truthful with athletes, you let them see that side of you, you build that relationship with them, and, sell, like Mary's there, but, Bismarck itself is a great town.
Yep.
Our campus is beautiful.
Yeah.
So as a coach, you got to go on the mindset that you can probably get whoever you want if you just be you,
Sure.
And are we necessarily always going to get the top athlete? Maybe not, but I think as coaches, you just got to go in that mindset that's how you have to recruit, you know. And if you just be you, kids don't want to play for you.
Yeah, and two, you look at it too. I mean, obviously Bismarck State a 2-year school right now, and if you've got ladies up there, ladies up there that want to continue their basketball success, hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking 2 years and doing that.
Absolutely nothing wrong. You know, our conference is super competitive. They get time to shine, you know. And one thing I like about a junior college is you're going to get to play.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
You're going to get to play. There's 30 games. You're going to get lots of minutes at a junior college. You know, we don't have any JV programs. We don't, you know, you're necessarily getting recruited to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And to get minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's very well stated. And then not to mention, Ty, now you've got a new athletic director in Myron Schultz. Has he done a pretty good job for you? We got to bring him up because he does a little football with us. So has he done a pretty good job so far?
He's done a really good job. I like Myron. I get along with him. He it does a lot for our athletic program. He does, you know, he's out. He gets, like I said, he does stuff with you, I believe, right? Like he does a lot of radio stuff, and so he's out in the public, which is great for BSC.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. You know, certainly Myron will do a fine job up there, and hopefully he'll be able to lead you guys to some bigger and better things. Well, Ty, hey, appreciate the time. We'll hopefully do it again as you get deeper into your season. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it. Ty Hagan, the head coach of the Lady Mystics, as they're on their way out to Glendive, Montana for a game in Glendive and then Miles City tomorrow as they look to add to their win total, 3-1 to start the season, as they hope to pick up a couple on the road out in Montana. We'll take another timeout. We come back. We'll go back to the gridiron. We'll talk with the head coach of the Jamestown Blue Jays, your 11A state champions, back after this timeout on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash leader valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3, on low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BMC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking?
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge and Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network. Hey, if you're looking for a place to watch some college football today, well, hey, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon as drink specials, full-service menu, lots of TVs on both sides as Danny and the staff will take care of you up here today at the Stadium Lodge. Speaking of college football, our next guest, well, he's the head high school football coach of the state champion Jamestown Blue Jays. But right now, I think he's en route to a college football game down in Madison, Wisconsin. And joining me on the phone is Bill Nelson. Billy, good morning. How are you this morning?
Scott, doing good. Getting some steps in this morning. I'll tell you that right now. That's okay. I need them.
Well, hey, Bill, I guess first and foremost, congratulations to you and the Jamestown Blue Jays on that big win last Friday. It was fun to watch you guys. My first chance to see you play. And, boy, I tell you what a football game, but nonetheless, has it sunk in yet, Bill?
You know, it has. You just kind of got to pinch yourself and say, God, did that really all happen? You know, and it's I was reluctant to turn the trophy in for a few days. I'm like, I have to keep this thing at my house as long as possible. But no, it's been such a surreal feeling, and you ask the kids to put in all the time, and coaches are putting in all the time, and you got all kinds of supporters from all over the place that are just going with what you're throwing at them, and kids are buying in, and it's a lot of fun to see everything come to fruition. That's for sure. That's for darn sure.
Well, certainly that too, Bill, and certainly just for Jamestown in its own right. I mean, the drought that Jamestown has had as far as a football state championship speaks for itself. And I mean, this is a team that, boy, I tell you what, you're always going to be remembered no matter what year you win a state champion and how many in a row you win it. But this team really is a team that's going to be remembered for a number of years at Jamestown High School.
You know, and you go back and it's ironic because the last couple times we were there in the finals was against Coach Meeker and St. Mary's, you know, and that was way before my time. And we've had some really, really, really good football players come through. We've had some good teams come through. We just could never, kind of like Andy was talking about this morning, couldn't push it over the hump, you know. And
yep.
And it's one of those where you just keep striving, you keep pushing, you stay to your morals and values, and it's what you believe in, and this is how we're going to do things. And these kids that we had were tremendously humble, you know, very resilient. And I've said this about 3,000 times now, but I care more about the name on the front jersey than on the back. And they bought into it, and kind of the touchdown that Thomas Ulmer had, and I watched it about 300 times now, but that strip sack, and he gets it. And, you know, Tommy's been a lineman his whole life. The only time he's ever touched the ball is when he played center his sophomore, freshman year, sophomore, junior years, and then he's been playing guard all year, but Blake's wrist got dinged up a couple weeks ago, so we moved Tommy second half over center, didn't miss a beat, you know, and he, perfect mirage, he gets that strip sack and goes down, and you watch the highlights from the defensive end and the kids and how excited they were, you know, for him. That one of our senior captains is doing the Saquon Barkley running down the field with the windmill arms, and it's just, you pick up something new every time you watch. You know, our 300-pound nose tackle, that might be the fastest he's sprinted all year. You know, it's special. And I mean, our crowd following has always been really good. And this year, with having the new facility with the University of Jamestown and Charlotte and Gordon Hanson Stadium, I mean, it's a beautiful place to play. And how can you not get excited every Friday night, and we've had great followings, and it's just continued on with last Friday afternoon.
Well, yeah, and you probably knew, I'm guessing, or you had in the back of your mind, Bill, that, when you guys knocked off St. Mary's earlier in the season, that I mean, just the stars were going to align and you were going to get another shot at them. And you did. And boy, I tell you what, it's hard to beat a team twice in 1 year, but you certainly really had the upper edge in that football game last Friday afternoon.
And that's so we were able to get that one early in the season. And I was at home. Kids played. They jumped on us right away up 7-0, and we put the clamps in, and we just played real well the last 3 quarters. And then it's kind of a back and forth slugfest. It's going to be a battle. It's playoffs, the state championship game. You throw everything out the window, but our kids knew that they could beat these guys. And that's a huge thing. That's a huge. Not talking arrogance at all, but that's just from a sheer confidence standpoint. When you're able to beat a team, however, you got to play well. And first half we had some miscues and some things not go our way, and it's 2020, so it's 0-0. We made some changes, and I tell you what, the kids stepped up and performed, and this isn't just about this group of kids. This is about a lot of groups, a lot of groups coming before us and before me and the community. And I mean, the outreach and support has just been astronomical. I always put my phone in my bag about an hour and a half before the game to, before we go out, before we start meetings. I got to my phone probably 45 minutes to an hour after the game, and I was with the last 10 guys. We were going up to the hospitality room. I look at my phone, grab my phone, 237 text messages. and it didn't stop there. I'm like, and I answered every single person. And it's like, then I got home and the Facebook messages kicked in. And it's like, it's still, I got 3 last night that just that were either from other community members. We had a guy that goes to my church. Actually, I got into a car accident with him 21 years ago. First year I lived in Jamestown. He's sides from me. Anyhow, we've been friends ever since. And it's like, his wife talked to me the day after the state championship game. He was on the 1968 team that had a great team, and he's a DJ in Dubuque, Iowa. And I got the thing that he wrote up 2 days ago that he announced to everybody. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there was 9 different states had 9. He said people were listening from 9 different states on his radio show alone. You know what I mean? Because he had it on our 107.1 broadcast going on, and that we talk about it all the time. Just tell the kids at the very end, this is something that nobody can ever take away from you.
Yeah.
And over the course of time, you may not remember the scores. You're not going to remember your records, but you remember the people that you were with. You remember the guy next to you. You know what I mean? And I could still go back. I graduated in 93, and I could still tell you the other 8 guys, I played with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just things you don't forget.
Yeah, it certainly does. And I think, too, you look at, just what it does for your program in general now. I think now you've got that younger group of kids knowing, hey, you know what? I mean, and let's face it, Jamestown football's back. It's on the map. And I think over the number of years of going back from the EDC to the WDA, from the EDC to the WDA, down to AA, or back to AAA, down to AA. I think maybe now, Bill, you guys have found a home. And, boy, I tell you what, the first year, you're the first state champion in 11A football.
And like I said, can never be taken away. It's a special thing. And here's the cool part. Monday morning, 5:40 is my first 0-hour class. And we have probably 85% of our 10 through 12 are in our lifting classes during the day. And you'd have never been able to tell we won a state championship because they went right back to work. Seniors being the same way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's the kind of, everybody likes the word culture, and it is culture, but that's the mentality. That's the mindset, that you got to get better every day. And it's not strength, it's not speed, it's academically, it's, hey, I'm going to pick up 3 pieces of garbage a day. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm going to hold the door for 2 people today. It's just continually to work to get better every single day, and that's what we're going to keep doing. I'll promise you that.
Well, yeah, I mean, no question. And, Bill, we just got a couple minutes left, and I know we'll let you go. But, boy, I tell you what, you talk about, 2020 at halftime of that one, and then, it took you a little bit of time until Hochhalter, found Hillstrom for that touchdown pass. He took the lead, and then it was a strip sack. I mean, I'm guessing you really didn't feel comfortable at that time, and then St. Mary's comes back and cuts it to 7. But, boy, it was that big run by Shemp at the end from 36 yards out that really sealed the deal, not to mention the injury to their quarterback. So certainly you really owned that second half of that football game.
We did. We took advantage of some opportunities, and this group of boys 4 years ago, you talk about them being how special they are. Jacob Shemp didn't play a lot of football the last 4 games of the year. Outside of the championship game, he had a dinged up shoulder, and Aiden Braun was playing a lot of running back, doing a great job. And we kind of hit a couple runs against North. We decided, you know what, let's pull him out because we jumped on him a little bit and got a lead. And so we ended up resting him. And there's no way that kid is not going to play in the state championship game. I mean, he was a little sore. He looks at me and he's like, Coach, I am not. You're not playing my last game. And it's like, and then, he's listed at 5'8", 140. No, he's probably about 5'6". If he's 130, it's lucky. And I mean, but there aren't many kids tougher. And what does he do on his interview? Compliments the offensive line.
Yep.
First 4 or 5 words out of his mouth.
Yep.
Talks about the receivers, talks about Peyton, talks about the defense. Not one thing about me, and that is this group of kids.
Yeah. Well, no, hey.
It makes my job as a coach, and you have great coaches with you too. It makes things easy and it makes things fun. That's for darn sure.
No question about it. Well, Billy, hey, I appreciate you taking the time down in Wisconsin. Enjoy the football game this afternoon. And, again, congratulations on a great season, and particularly to end the whole thing with that state championship, all right?
Awesome. Hey, you want me to give you a call back like right before kickoff or in the jump around? I mean, I'm going to be jumping around. I'm not going to lie. We're going to have some fun today. So. Well,
you certainly deserve it, my friend, and just make sure that they give you enough room to jump around over there, all right?
Yeah, the guy that I'm going to be with is probably about a 6-inch shorter version than me, so we might be taking up a couple extra spaces, but that's okay. So,
all right, buddy.
I got my son to keep an eye on me. Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. Take care. Bill Nelson,
hey,
you bet, the head coach of the state champion Jamestown Blue Jays, as he's enjoying some well-deserved time down in Madison, Wisconsin, and congratulations to the Jamestown Blue Jays. We'll take another timeout here on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. We come back, we'll talk with the head coach of the 11-2A champions, Jeremy Newton from West Fargo Cheyenne. Back with more on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash leader valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson, the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you on Overtime. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network as we roll into the 11 o'clock hour. Hey, if you're looking for a spot to watch some college football today, make the Stadium Lodge your home. Lots of TVs, full-service menu, as the folks up here will certainly take care of you today. Well, as we continue our post-Dakota Bowl preview, we roll into our next coach as he's the head coach of the West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs, the 11-2A champions. It's Jeremy Newton. Jeremy, good morning. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Jeremy, I guess first and foremost, hey, congratulations. Has it sunk in for you guys yet?
I mean, I think so. I don't know. I don't know. I've never had anything to compare it to, I guess. But no, it's a pretty good feeling, that's for sure.
Well, it certainly is. It's got to be with that group of young men you had, and to go wire to wire like that, Jeremy, and run the table. And I guess you mix into that wire to wire. You got over the century hurdle. You knocked them off, and in your place during the regular season. And I guess I'll start there. And I mean, how big of a win was that for you and your kids? Knowing that they've kind of been your nemesis the last number of years.
No, yeah, it was a big win. It was a program win for sure, and the kids were hungry, and they, no one likes to get beat by the same team repeatedly. So it's just kind of everyone felt it, and we were fortunate enough to get the W. Yeah,
it's certainly back in the regular season, and then you get the number one seed in the playoffs. You roll over Minot 28-6, and then kind of a close one with Shanley 36-21, and then it was, I'm sure, the ultimate goal when you started the season. You get into the title game again, and I got to believe that was these kids' goal, with a number of those kids being a part of those previous games.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We never talked about it. We try to keep all that stuff off into the distance, but it sure was, once we got there and were able to do stuff, it sure was awesome to be a part of.
Yeah, and then, of course, your opponent for that one is a team that you're pretty familiar with, and the West Fargo Packers, a team you beat earlier in the season, and I mean, right away, boy, I tell you what, they showed that they were there to play as they gave you some fits in that opening quarter. I mean, again, we thought we were going to see another a heavyweight boxing match. Is this going to be a defensive battle? And then you guys just kind of opened things up a little bit.
Well, they're very well coached, and they're a very physical team on defense. They run really well, and they're athletes. So it was we had to kind of crack the code and get things going. But it was a tough game for sure.
Well, yeah, and you guys in cracking the code, and I mean, you've got some athletes in your own right, and I mean, to talk about Jeremy, I tell you what, I had the chance to interview your quarterback Grant Workentine at the end of that football game. And, boy, I tell you what, I got to tell you that, and my colleagues said the same thing, that's probably one of the best interviews that I've done in the number of years I've been doing this. And, boy, I tell you what, that kid is just, I mean, he had to have been a leader for you, I mean, for the last 3 years. I mean, he's just got a great head on his shoulders.
Yeah, there's kids you win championships behind, and he's definitely fits that mold. He's about the team, he's about everyone else, and at the same time, he's able to do whatever you want him to do. So he's an exceptional kid, exceptional young man, and we're gonna miss him dearly. That's for sure.
Yeah, he certainly is. Now, didn't throw the football a whole lot in that game, only 3 attempts, 2 completions, but you didn't have to because you had number 32 back there. And, boy, I tell you what was the game plan going in there, Jeremy, that, hey, we're just going to ride 32 because you handed it off to him 39 times for 238 yards, and he's really kind of been your workhorse for you all year long.
Well, they kind of came into the game plan. They were going to take everything else away, and so we tried some other things, but they just weren't working. So we just kept trying him, and that kept working. And he's a good guy to get behind. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, he certainly is. And then that offensive line of yours. I mean, boy, I tell you what, those guys, had a chance to watch you guys when you're here taking on Legacy, and boy, that up front, offensively and defensively, I thought you guys were about as solid as any high school football team could have been. As you just had some kids that really got out and competed, played hard, worked hard. But just talk about the job that those guys up front did for you all year long as well.
And, and that's the thing. They don't get a lot of credit, but anyone that knows football and comes to watch a game can see that our offensive line and our defensive lines really are the stable horse for what we do, and everything else kind of works around that. So, yeah, super proud to have those guys around, that's for sure.
What was your game plan going in this time, Jeremy, having played them as you do every year in the regular season against West Fargo? I mean, was it was there any specific game plan that you maybe have, or something different that you did last Friday that you maybe didn't do on the last time you played them?
I mean, no, our game plan was fairly similar to what we did last time, but what we saw on film is their athletes just got out in space and just created all kinds of problems. So we really wanted to mitigate that and just, make them earn it, make them drive down the field, not let them have big plays as best we could.
Yeah, and you really didn't. Hagerly, 7 receptions, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. He's obviously their big play guy, and I thought you guys really did a good job on him for most of the football game.
Well, we did as good as we could. We were double teaming him. He still had 7 catches and 70 yards. He's just a great athlete. But yeah, and then the running back had a ton of yards too. So we just tried to keep those guys in check the best we could, and it worked out. Where
did you think, Jeremy? This West Fargo team comes out here and shuts out Century, and what did you see from them? I mean, the improvement from West Fargo from when you played them in the regular season to maybe that semifinal game against Century, or just from the time you played them up to that point. Where did you see most of their improvement?
Just as collectively, Jay does such a good job with his teams, and they were just better all the way around. Their front was better. They found a better way to get it to their skill guys. Their tackling was outstanding, I thought, in the postseason. So it was just a whole team effort to get better from them.
Yeah, we're talking with Jeremy Newton, the head coach of the West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs, the 11-2A state football champions. And, Jeremy, when you look at it, obviously with the restructuring of the football conferences and really a new division, I mean, you're the first 11A state champion and the first in school history at West Fargo Cheyenne, but the success you've had certainly has been there. But I mean, just touch on maybe what that means now to bring that to the West Fargo Cheyenne community.
Well, I mean, we've been successful, and we try not to market off of all that stuff, but it's a real thing. That's what people look at the end of the day. So, and I had this is my 3rd state championship game in North Dakota. I had 2 more that I was in New Mexico also. So that's 5. If I'd have went 0 for 5, people would start asking questions. So good that we got the dub, at least one of them.
So you're telling me maybe you felt a little pressure on yourself as you took the sidelines last Friday night?
I sure did. I did. Yeah.
And what does something like this mean for Cheyenne football moving forward?
Well, I mean, now we're on the topic of conversation with the other schools, and I think we've been there due for a few years, though.
Yep.
So, I think, it's just it's just a nice notch to have on there. But at the same time, we're in the discussion, and we're happy to be there for sure.
Yeah, I think you always will be. Certainly the success you've had, and you being in the title game, and you finally were able to crack the ice. So, Jeremy, appreciate the time this morning. Again, congratulations to you. Enjoy it. I'm sure you already have done that, but nonetheless, you get to put a banner up in the halls of West Fargo Cheyenne.
For sure. Thanks a lot for having me.
Hey, you got to appreciate the time. Jeremy Newton, the head coach of the West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs, as his team is the 11 2A state champions as they knock off West Fargo 27-7. Well, we tried to effort Matt Crane as well as the head coach of the Kindred Vikings, but Matt was on his way out on a hunting trip, so we'll take it one step further, and that's going to lead us into, after this timeout, our next guest, and looking forward to this one. As I said earlier in the open, if you weren't with us, Chuck Claremont had probably the interview of the whole Dakota Bowl when he got to talk to Jordan Sunram. This young lady, certainly very well excited when she came in and got an opportunity, but certainly looking forward to that. And we'll do that when we come back after this timeout, as you're listening to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee on the PSP Network. Back with more from the Stadium Lodge after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zzz?
I think your quash later valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BMC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options, and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with LASIK from Bismarck LASIK. Imagine No more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck LASIK, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck LASIK. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network. It's Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. And, hey, again, if you're looking for some place to watch some college football today, well, post up at the Stadium Lodge. Full-service menu specials going on, a number of TVs, lots of college football on, UND, NDSU. They'll be on here today. Some Ohio State, Michigan State. Come enjoy some football at the Stadium Lodge. Well, we tried to effort the head coach, and unfortunately he is on a hunting trip. So we are going to go to our next guest this morning, and she was a member of the state champion Kindred Vikings football team last week at the Fargo Dome, where they won their first ever state football champion. And joining me right now is Jordan Sunram. Jordan, good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good. Well, Jordan, I guess first and foremost, congratulations on being a part of that state championship team. And has it sunk in yet maybe for you and your family? I know your dad, Ryan, one of the coaches, and certainly what a special day last Friday it must have been for you and your family.
Oh, it was so special. I mean, it still hasn't fully sunk in yet. Everyone still is super smiling, congratulating us and stuff. So it's starting to sink in, but it just makes me so happy that we were able to, enjoy the win this whole week.
Do you think it ever will sink in?
I don't think so.
I mean, and and the reality of that, Jordan, is that, it's something that, whether it's 10, 15, 20, 25 years, you got something to tell, people that, hey, I was a member of the first state championship football team at Kindred. I mean, that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And another reason I don't think it'll sink in is because I've never been a part of something like this, especially a boys team. So it's so surreal for me to think about that I was actually a part of that.
Well, Jordan, let's go back in time, and I know last Friday you had a chance to talk with one of my colleagues, Chuck Claremont, and boy, I tell you what, young lady, that thing went rampant on social media awfully quick, and certainly one of the better interviews I've ever heard. But let's go back. When did Jordan Sunram take a liking to football?
So I don't know if you know this, but my brother was the kicker last year on the football team.
Yep.
And since I have a history with soccer and I still play soccer, my dad wanted me to help him because he was struggling with kicking. So I went out one day to help him kick. And then my dad thought it would be funny if I would try. So then I took a kick, and I tried to maybe think about joining last year, but obviously with COVID, it was a different story. So then this summer I tried again, and I kicked with my brother again. And then the coaches actually drove by the football field when I was kicking. And one of the coaches took a video of me and sent it to the other coaches, and then they told me to come to practice one day, and then I showed the boys, and then that's basically how it all started.
No.
Yeah.
No. Your dad asked you to go help your brother, and what did you have to help your brother with?
Well, so obviously my parents have never played soccer, so they didn't know what it was like to kick and stuff. So my brother, obviously kicked with his toe because he's never played soccer either, and so he was just inaccurate almost. So then I taught him how to kick correctly, with the inside of your foot and stuff. I just taught him all that stuff, I guess.
Oh, certainly. What a great story that is. And then the rest is history, Jordan. And then all of a sudden you go through the year and it ends in this state championship but it's been stated that that you're the first female to score points in the Dakota Bowl. And you know what? There again, young lady, that's something as well that's going to go down in the record books. You kick the extra point, and then we get to the field goal. And then, the game is in hand. And talk me through. I know you touched a little bit on it when you talked with Chuck, but let's go back as they're on that drive and looking maybe not going to score. What's Jordan Sunram doing in that stage, knowing you may have an opportunity to kick a field goal?
Oh, obviously throughout the whole game, my heart's racing, especially in the Fargo Dome. Like, everyone's watching. There's people watching online. Bunch of people in the stands. My heart's just racing. And then obviously extra points. I've done that all year. That wasn't that bad. And then obviously Coach Crane at the end of the game told me to get ready for a field goal. And I was just like, wait, for real? And like my heart I could not breathe. And then obviously it was adrenaline and excitement. And then when I got out there and I knew I was actually going to kick, I just wanted it so bad. I locked myself in, and then I made it. And then, I don't know, just relief went through my whole body of just happiness and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, with just 2:10 left to go in the game, he calls on you to come out to kick a 27-yard field goal. I mean, and you think that might have been good from 35?
I think so. I mean, obviously in the moment, I didn't know how far it went. Like, sometimes after extra points, I'll come on the sideline and ask my dad if it looked good. Because, there's just so much adrenaline. I don't actually know how the kick went. But after that kick, I saw it hit the back of the net, and I knew that would have been good from way farther back.
Well, I think that's what we commented on, too, sitting up top. And I think the question that we had, and you answered the question, our question was, we're talking about, well, boy, you think she plays soccer? And Kindred doesn't have soccer, and then you answered the question. And you talked about you've been playing soccer for how many years now for West Fargo?
So my first year at West Fargo was freshman year, obviously to start high school, but I've been playing with a club team and then obviously rec since I was 3 years old.
Wow, and certainly, and again, let's go back to another thing you touched on in that interview was the shoes, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the shoes that you had on when you made that 27-yard field goal. I mean, tell the folks that maybe weren't listening last Friday that might be listening this morning, what's the story on the shoes?
So after last season, I had those my old soccer shoes since freshman year. So I begged my mom for new shoes for senior year of soccer, and that was before I knew about football and stuff. So those shoes were brand new going into football season, and now they're totally trashed from dirt from all the football games. So now I told my mom that she has to get me new ones now for the soccer season. So those ones will literally go down as my football shoes.
Well, I'm guessing, Jordan, if I'm you, I'm probably not going to mom. I'm probably going to dad. For that, because I'm guessing Dad's probably going to say, okay, get in the car, let's go to the store right now, let's get you some.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They do not probably want me to touch those for soccer. They want me to save those for football.
Well, certainly, Jordan, I mean, did you ever, when you go back and you look at, being at the football field and the coach is taking video of you and send it to the other coach and you step on the field with practice and, I mean, did you ever think that this would be the end-all, be-all?
Oh, absolutely not. I did not think that at all. It was just crazy. And, the boys give me a hard time. Oh, of course, the first year Jordan joins, we win state. They just make that joke to me, and I think it's so funny.
Well, I think you've got to one-up on them. I think
for sure.
I think now you got to start talking to, if there's any other potential soccer candidates in the community of Kindred, you got to start, hey, you know what, if you're going to go play soccer in West Fargo, you better think about going out for the football team because guess what? I was the first one. I was the first female to play football in Kindred, and we got a state championship.
Yeah, that's just an insane thing I can tell people. It's amazing.
When I guess we're talking with Jordan Sunram from Kindred football team, to a field goal place kicker for the Vikings, and Jordan, in the email that your dad sent me, lining up this interview, and I could tell that via email that he was really proud of what you accomplished and what you did, and really he was proud that it was that his family was around for that. I mean, how cool was that? To know your dad was on the sideline as a coach, and your family's in the stands, and I mean, just not only the state championship, but just to be able to enjoy it with even your father on the sideline.
Oh, it's amazing. And just being a girl on the team, I'm not saying I feel like by myself, but having my dad there made me 10 times more comfortable. And then at the Dakota Bowl, I saw my family in the first row right behind our bench. So if I ever got super nervous or was have an anxiety attack about right kick, I could just look at them, and I just felt so much relief knowing that they were all there for me and my brother.
Well, that's just awesome, young lady. Certainly, kudos to you. I think, no matter what you want to say about it, you're going to hold a place in North Dakota football history, for a long time. Who knows how long? I mean, and I think the other thing, Jordan, that I want to ask you is I think that what you did and what you accomplished. Do you ever look at it and say, maybe I was aspiring other girls in North Dakota to go out and, hey, take a stab at this, join the football team and be a part of it, even if it's place kicking? I mean, that's an important piece of the puzzle as well.
Yeah. Well, this week, we had our football banquet or whatever, and so many moms of young girls asked to take if their girl could take a picture with me, and that just made my heart so happy. And then obviously one of my assistant volleyball coaches is a teacher at the elementary, and she always came up and told me how a bunch of girls are telling their friends they're going to join football when they're older. And that just almost makes me tear up that I could inspire girls to do that and want to do that.
Well, you know what? I think it's reality. I think that, and very well deserving that you can be that person to do that. And sometimes it takes you for Coach Crane to call your number and kick a 27-yard field goal. You did it. You made it. And you made the extra points, and certainly very, very, very well deserved, Jordan. But so what's next for Jordan? I mean, any other sports coming up, or what's next for you on your high school season?
So this winter, I am going to lift a bunch with my strength coach at the school, and then I'm actually going to play winter soccer that starts in January to prepare myself for my senior year for West Fargo. And then after that, it's time for college soccer.
Okay. I mean, do we know where you're going to go play college soccer yet, or that's yet to be determined?
I committed to the University of Jamestown.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I'm sure that a lot of folks will be following your career, as you continued at the University of Jamestown. Jordan, hey, I appreciate the time. Congratulations, young lady.
Thank you.
Very well deserved. Enjoy it. Tell your dad thanks, and best of luck to you in the future. All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, you too. Jordan Sunram from Kindred, as she is unofficially, well, I believe it is official, the first female to score points in the Dakota Bowl, as she kicked an extra point, a couple of them actually, a few of them, and then she made a 27-yard field goal with 2 minutes to go in that contest to the game was really secured, but she just added insult to injury when she knocked that one out over from 27 yards out. We'll take another timeout. We come back. We're going to talk with the tournament manager of the State Class A Girls Volleyball Tournament, Dave Zittelman, back with more on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zzz, zzz?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. We're live from the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network. And again, hey, if you're looking to watch some college football and maybe a little high school volleyball, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon, as number of TVs, full-service menu, drink specials going on, and should be a fun day. Nice Saturday today, UND, NDSU. Should be a great day to watch some college football. And speaking of volleyball, right now we go down to the Bismarck Event Center, and joining me on the line is the tournament director and athletic director for the Bismarck Public Schools, Dave Zittelman. David, how are you this morning?
Doing just fine, Woody. Thank you.
Well, Dave, I guess first and foremost, this year you guys were, well, maybe not this year, but you were awarded the state volleyball tournament, and I guess you got to ask the question, I mean, how have things gone so far?
Well, that's probably a question for somebody else looking in from the outside. But from the inside, I think things are going pretty well. You know, it's a different setup than traditionally has been done at Minot and/or Fargo. We have the two venues, much like the West Region or State basketball tournament that we host here for Class A. And, you know, there's some environment. You have some music, introductions, good seating, and, you know, you got all those things going for us. So I from the inside, you know, out looking, it seems that things are going pretty well.
And Dave, you know, you talk about that, and, you know, having been down there earlier in the week and just looking at that, have you heard any comments? Because to me, it just seems like it's a lot better environment, is it not?
Yeah, you know, I'm just used to it here at the event center, and I like the idea of having the ability to have your own court, and you kind of have, I would say, center stage for your game. And, you know, there's more room for fans, and we don't have seating issues, and we can, you know, set up the seating accordingly for the games in each arena. You can introduce teams. You can have commentary over the public address between points and talk about who's serving. And yeah, I really like it this way. And again, I've done this for 20 years with Dr. Hausler with tournaments, and it just seems to work. And I really do like it. And I've had some comments, and people like it, and there's still people that like the old setup, so they can watch both as well.
Well, yeah, certainly you're going to get people that do like that, and I guess the next question, Dave, I'll ask you is how has this, you know, being in that it's, let's just say it's a centrally located part of the state, which it is, and how's the overall attendance been at the A and B volleyball tournament?
Well, we've got a few preliminary numbers from the first day in particular, and it was really good the first day. It was higher than we projected it to be. I'm not sure if it's going to break a record or as far as attendance goes, but when we get that all figured out on Monday morning, we'll have a better idea. But I can tell you that there's lots of teams that traveled very well, so to speak, with their fans, and we're excited to see what today brings with some great championship matches, and, you know, Lincoln and Northern Cass and Bismarck versus Century makes for a great in town.
Well, I was going to say, Dave, you know, when you're doing this for the first time and you know, whatever, but Well, I tell you what, you couldn't have scripted it any better to have two of your local schools playing for that state championship, and then not to mention followed by two pretty good Class B volleyball teams, one team trying to repeat as state champions.
Oh, no doubt. And we knew that coming in when Linton was coming, that and Northern Cass were both going to be traveling very well. And then, of course, we had our four local teams here, our three public schools in same areas. So we were excited to have that, obviously, being it the first time and since 1988 that we've hosted a state tournament with volleyball. And just having our four teams here, and not to mention that they've helped in putting this team to this tournament together, our coaches, and just it's real rewarding for them to be in the tournament, no question.
Yeah, and we're talking with Dave Zittelman, Bismarck Public Schools athletic director. And Dave, looking at this tournament, as you said, since 1988, coming back here, what's the rotation going to be like now for the state volleyball tournament? I mean, is it going to be Bismarck, Fargo, Minot? Is it going to be Bismarck, Fargo? I mean, I know they've got that 7-year projection. I believe next year it comes back to Bismarck again. But what's the preliminary rotation going to be of this?
Well, right now we were supposed to have it 4 to the next 6 years, and you're right. Next year we're supposed to host again, which we are. But NDSU might have a football game at the Fargo Dome, so we might get it 5 out of the next 6. It looks like right now, and the rotation is right now just set up between Bismarck and Fargo at this current time.
Well, boy, I mean that's good news, is it not?
Yeah, we're excited about having it. I really relied on Todd Olson and Mitch Lundy from Minot, who have run the tournament for a long time, and
sure, and
they're incredible activities directors and do a nice job of hosting. And they were more than willing to help with all the little things that you don't think about. It's much like the basketball tournament,
yep.
Woody. You have the two venues, you have two teams playing. It's pretty much the same, you'd think, but there are little things that you need to remember. And the information that I gained from them and was invaluable. And not to mention then the people in Bismarck, the community. It's a volleyball community. People love it around here. Our numbers are incredible in our middle school and high schools, and so it was fun because people were just so willing to help, and that makes the tournament run so much better. We're really blessed here in Bismarck with our tournaments that people are willing to step in and help and do whatever it takes to run a good tournament. And I basically have the title of tournament manager, but we have so many people that actually are overly involved. It's incredible.
Yeah, no question about that. Is that you can't say enough, Dave, about the people that the volunteers and the folks that just step forward and are really, actually excited and happy to help. I mean, you see it with this one. You see it at the state track meet. Now, I know that's a lot more volunteers than this. You see it at the basketball tournament. And it's nice to have those riches, in your backyard.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And there's a stable of people that have always wanted to do that in Bismarck, and we've been very, very lucky with that. And, you're one of them. What do you help us out at state track meets? And you're obviously involved, and you can just see the passion that people have for kids and for athletics. And we have people working here that haven't worked a volleyball match in their life, and they're like, wow, this is really fun, and it's got really good energy, in the facility, and that's what's really fun to see. This can be in a student athlete's last experience in sports, and so we want to make it something that they're going to remember for a long time. And the crowds have been good, and the kids' behavior and coaches have just been outstanding.
Yeah, it's certainly, as you said, a great atmosphere, and really the venue speaks for itself and what you're able to offer. And Dave, with that being said, I know you've got the state basketball tournament coming up, but I know you don't want to think about that at that time. But I guess the question I'll pose to you with that is and I know that there was a format change, with the COVID and everything like that. Do you know what that format's going to look like for this year? I mean, are they going back to the old format, staying with what they did last year, or you can't say, or where is that? I guess in the process as well.
Well, as I sit here today, I say that we're going back to the old format, our traditional Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And, who knows what COVID brings. I don't like to use that word very often anymore, but who knows what it's going to bring. I project us being like we were in 2019 and 20 tournaments and having the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I think that's what everybody likes. and it's good with flow, and everybody knows what to expect. And I think sets up for a good tournament.
Yeah, well, certainly keep up doing the job that you're doing, David. I know some exciting volleyball going on. It's underway today, and I guess I looked at it earlier. But are both venues being utilized today for the? I know the championship ones are going to be in the main venue, and I'm assuming the third. But are you utilizing both venues at this time?
Yeah, we are, Woody. Actually, we have 3 in the exhibit hall and 5 in the main arena today. So the big goal was not to have a Class B game in one arena and a Class B game in the other arena. So we staggered them a little differently. This morning we started out with, at 11, the 5th place game for Class A in the main arena, 7th and 8th place for Class B in the exhibit. And so we want to stagger them. So if there's someone that just wants to watch Class B volleyball, they're able to walk back and forth. So that's why it's 5 and 3.
Okay, well, it certainly should be a great day for volleyball. You got 2 great championship matches coming up tonight, Bismarck and Century. And, boy, you got to put on a neutral hat on that one, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just excited that we have those 2 teams in the championship game. And, in the West region, they finished 1 and 2, and they were the 2 best teams out here in the West. And they've had really good years. And it was exciting also to have Legacy in, and they're in the Consolation Championship right now. And then obviously in the Class B, the 1 and 2 are in the title game. And so, sometimes that's the way it works out. And like you said, there should be 2 incredibly good championship matches tonight.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is that A championship, and 7 o'clock for the Class B. And again, those are, projected times based on 5-set matches and a little bit of pageantry and all of that goes with it. So that's our plan.
Well, David, hey, man, keep up the great work as always. Kudos to you and your staff, and thanks for the time this morning on a busy day for you, and we'll talk soon, all right?
Hey, appreciate what you do, Woody, for sports in our community. Thank you very much.
All right, hey, you got it, David. Appreciate it. Dave Zittelman, the BPS athletic director and tournament manager of the state volleyball tournament, as he said, going on right now. Legacy playing in the Consolation Championship, as they are battling West Fargo Cheyenne. But if you're looking to watch some good volleyball later today and into the evening, make the Bismarck Event Center your home. As we said, Century and Bismarck to do battle right around 5 o'clock, and Linton HMB and Northern Cass, 2 of the top teams wire to wire in Class B, will go at it at 7 o'clock, and two more state champions will be crowned tonight at the Bismarck Event Center. We'll take a timeout. We come back, we'll go to the Frozen Pond. We'll talk with the one and only Nick Hulberg and get a little inside preview of West Region hockey. Back with more on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zzz?
I think your quash later valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge in overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP network. Hey, again, if you want a place to settle in, post up, relax, whatever terminology you want to use, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon, as lots of college football going right now. The volleyball on in here as well, as it should be a fun day today. Michigan State, Ohio State on right now. Ohio State with the early lead in that one, 14-0. But make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. Well, as we come to a conclusion of our fall sports, the winter sports are starting to ramp up. As we said today, the inaugural start to the high school girls wrestling, and coming up on Monday is the opening season of hockey in the state of North Dakota, and it is to bring on our hockey aficionado here on the PSP network, and you'll hear his voice right here on all the calls for Minot High. Nick Hallberg, owner and announcer for Minot High Hockey. Nick, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Woody, I'm great. I got to tell you, man, I really enjoy my Saturday morning sitting here and getting a little flavor of sports from around North Dakota with what you do. I mean, sincerely, it's awesome. I got to tell you, that young lady from Kindred, she's the real deal, isn't she? She's a lot of fun to listen to. I love that girl.
Yeah, she's got some. Let's just use the term, Nick. Let's use the term moxie. How about that, huh?
Yeah, she's the real deal. Good for her. Great interview, and it's fun. It's also interesting, I thought, too, just to mention that listening to what Mr. Zittelman had to say with volleyball and some of the challenges they were up against and some of the changes they made. Interesting to see that in motion, and good job there. I'm excited to see what happens tonight with Century and Bismarck High, by the way.
Yeah, it should be a fun match tonight, as it'll certainly be a dandy. But Nick, let's turn our attention as you go back to work coming up on Monday as the North Dakota high school hockey season opens up, and you'll have the call right here on the PSP network. Devils Lake in town to take on Minot, and I know you did a hockey preview show earlier in the week, Nick, and the high school, the West Region Coaches Poll has been released, as has the East Region Coaches Poll, and has the statewide poll. But on top of that Coaches Poll was a team that you earmarked a couple of weeks back to potentially win this West Region, and it's the Williston Coyotes. Nick, take a look at that. Tell us, the Williston Coyotes getting 71 votes, Jamestown not far behind at 68, and then Century and Minot in the mix. So, boy, I tell you what, it looks like going to be a battle for those top four.
It's going to be nuts. I don't know in my wildest dreams. Being a guy that has followed high school hockey in North Dakota for so many years, growing up playing it and just being a huge fan of it, it's been a long, long time since the Williston Coyotes have had a program that is good as that they are this year. And I think that good might be an understatement for what they bring back. Two of the best players in the state, and Ashton Collins, who comes back with 35 points off of last year as a junior, and then Jackson Ekblad, a defenseman who had 28 points last year. I was actually pretty surprised that neither of those kids left to play junior hockey, because they're both good enough to do it. They're the real deal over on the west side of North Dakota, and they've got goaltending too, Woody, with a kid by the name of Mason Hagenau. So, I don't know the Coyotes. It's going to boil down to a few things. They got to be a little more disciplined than they were last year. They play a gritty style of hockey. They ended up with 246 minutes in penalties last year, which was at the tops of the West Region. But, they've got great coaching in Tyler Junt and Jordy Nelson and Bratling over there. And former Mr. Hockey from Botno, Harrison Aid is actually their program director. So they put together an all-star cast. And I'm not going to be surprised if Williston is number one when the dust settles. But, of course, you got guys like Troy Olson in the West Region from Century, and, those Minot boys, Grubb Bennett and Willert and, Westcar at the Demons. The teams that are normally there, you're going to have to assume are going to be in the mix. But guess what? Jamestown is, coming in number 2 on the preseason poll, and my prediction as well with Matt Stockard, who's been there for 17 years. So it's going to be a wild, wild West again. And then the other dark horse, Woody, we don't know what Legacy's going to be like.
Well,
you add another Bismarck team into it, and hang on tight.
And you know what, Nick? That was going to lead me into my next question with you. Is that this legacy team, and when you look at a coach's poll and a team that's coming in for the first year, not knowing what they're going to bring to the table, they get 39 votes in this coach's poll, and they come in at number 6, right on the heels of Bismarck High. I mean, what do you know, if anything? What can you tell us about this legacy hockey program?
I can tell you this: the coaching in the West region has gone from good to kind of jaw dropping. I mean, that Williston staff, it's got D1 guys on that staff. Of course, the Minot staff is good. There's D1 players there. Ole from Century's been there forever. Matt Stockert in Jamestown, he was 1994 Mr. Hockey, first ever in North Dakota. I mean, there's guys across the board that really know their stuff inside of the West region. But Legacy went out and got Mario Lamoureux, who was a player for the University of North Dakota, the Fighting Sioux, back in the early 2000s. He went on to play pro hockey. He's a guy that, I mean, is as legit as it gets in the state when that name is said, Lamoureux name is said. And then they went out and they added on top of that, they went and got Ryan Farragher, who is one of the best goaltenders to ever play for the Bismarck Bobcats, who went on to play in the American Hockey League. I'm looking at this going like, hang on a second now. What's going on here? Where all of a sudden these legit guys are taking over high school hockey, but that's really good for the programs and for the state. Other than that, Woody, I don't know a whole lot about Legacy other than they're going to have good coaching, and anytime that you've got those rivalries in inner city, it's going to be good with Century and Bismarck High, and you throw teams like Mandan into the mix who certainly have a chip on their shoulder after not going to the state tournament last year. Dickinson, Minot, I mean, you name it. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, and then as we said, the season opens up this week. Some of the locals, Mandan at Hazen-Beulah on Tuesday, Legacy and Century down in Fargo on Friday and Saturday, where they play some non-conference games. And then, Nick, you look out in the East, and obviously, certainly no surprise. I mean, you got Red River 1, Central 2, followed by Davies and South Shanley. I mean, that seems to be like just that theme seems to be like it's on repeat every year.
Well, and I have to tell you that it's hard to be such a fan of the West region, and I've gotten so much grief about this. We do our preseason poll every year on who we think is going to go to the state tournament. Last year we did it with Mike Peluso. This year we did it with Bob Gillen from North Dakota High School Hockey.com. I'm the biggest closet Bismarck Demons fan of all time because they're a team that is going to end up giving those East teams a run, and being from the West region, playing in the West region growing up and calling games for the Magi for over 10 years now, in Western North Dakota, really with PSP Network now. You look at it, Woody, and it's just, we have 3 state championships in Western North Dakota. Minot's got 2 of them. Bismarck has the other. Nobody else has one.
Yeah.
And it's other than that, you look at the east side of the state, and it's Red River or Central every single year. They don't, they just reload that thing. And it really isn't a surprise, Woody, but at the end of the day, I'm hoping that somebody can compete with them. And I don't know. I mean, I think the hockey world would flip on its head if the Williston Coyotes were the team to upset Red River or Central this year. I'll tell you that much.
Well, yeah, too, Nick. And then you look at the overall state coaches poll, and boy, you got to go down the list, and what you find there is the West team that stands out is Century at 6, and then Jamestown at 8, and then down at 11 is Williston. So, I don't know if Tyler Junt's got, he may have some, and he may have something to say about that before this thing's all said and done.
Well, and here's the other thing. I just want to mention this real quick. The statewide poll that we're looking at here, I'm just a little confused by that. I mean, when you look at, and no knock on Century here, Woody, but you look at what they did last year. Yeah, they were. I mean, that was one of the years that Troy Olson had a program that could have won a state high school hockey tournament. I don't think that this year's that year. They graduated 9 of their top 11 producers that had 152 of their points that were scored last year, including Player of the Year and Colton Schulte. I mean, they just don't bring a whole lot back. I mean, the top producer they have back is Foslin with 14 points, and that just isn't enough for me. I don't know if those guys in the East decided not even to look at the standings or what comes back from last year or what, but yeah, they got some things. There's some billboard material there and locker room stuff for some of these teams that I think maybe got shafted on the coaches poll a little bit.
Well, Nick, it should be a lot of fun as we put a wrap on the fall sports tonight, crowning our volleyball champions. Then we turn into the winter sports. I know there's going to be a lot of hockey, a lot of basketball to be heard here on the PSP network, and you got to be excited to get things underway on the Frozen Pond coming up this Monday night.
Well, I tell you, listen to me talk right here. I sound like a JoJo, the idiot circus boy, down in the basement drinking coffee for the last 12 hours, and I am. And that's what we look forward to. You know, there's you know what it's like with basketball season. I'm that same way with hockey. It's what gets you through these North Dakota winters, and when you get to cover the West region and get to see so many great players and so much good talent in high school hockey, it's a lot of fun to be a part of it. It's a quick season. It's compact. There's a lot to it, but you know, at the end of the day, we're going to be having the same conversation in a few months before we all head to Fargo for state high school hockey tournaments. And I'm excited to see where the dust settles before we get out that way.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Well, my friend, hey, appreciate the time. And as we roll through that hockey season, we'll keep getting updates from you as to any surprises or shocking things that might be going on in the hockey world, all right?
I appreciate you, Woody. Have a great Saturday.
All right, buddy. You too. Take care. Nick Hallberg, owner of PSP Network, also the PSP voice of Minot High Hockey. You can hear all that right here on the PSP Network. Well, we want to thank all of our guests this morning. We want to thank Andy Delabar from LLM, also to Ty Hagan, Bill Nelson from Jamestown, Jeremy Newton from West Fargo, Cheyenne, Jordan Sunram from Kindred, Dave Zittelman from Bismarck Public Schools, and also to Nick Hallberg. And again, hey, stay tuned. Follow us on all social media platforms. Stay tuned for our upcoming schedule. Basketball schedule should be coming out here soon. Lots of things coming up for you here on the PSP Network as we put a wrap on the fall and we turn our attention now to the winter sports. Again, if you're looking for a place to watch some college football, make the Stadium Lodge your home. This afternoon, UND, NDSU, lots of college football on today. Or if you're just looking to have lunch, make the Stadium Lodge your choice this afternoon. And that's going to do it for us on this Saturday. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Until next time, Scott Woodmansee saying so long from the Stadium Lodge.
This has been a presentation of the PSP Network. We thank you for listening to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee, live from the stadium. Make sure to head to the social media platforms for the PSP Network to like and follow, to stay up to date with all things sports in Western North Dakota. PSP Network, it's game day.